Hi everyone, so first video review for today, there's 4 because I was reading 4 books. First video review for today is Yes by Claire Highton-Stevenson. As some of you will have just seen, I've posted an introduction video because Claire very kindly sent me a copy of the paperback this week. But for any of you that haven't quite watched that yet, this is Yes and what it looks like. If you want to check out my Goodreads review, if you're on Facebook, it's just a little bit further down the page. If you're on my YouTube channel, then it's in the link below. So, what can I say about being back with Cam? Oh my god, I loved it, every minute of it, being back with Cam. How exciting to follow her adventure now that she's married to Michelle. Well, they get married in this book, which there's no real spoiler because if you've read the other books, you know that was coming. The wedding rings on the front cover allude to sort of marriage, so that's where we're going. They've got married, and basically Michelle wants to honeymoon in the UK, in London. So that's what they do, and that's where they go. And the nicest thing about this book is it's gap filling but still telling a new story for you. So there was a lot of unanswered questions in Out and Next background, especially Cam's, that weren't really touched on. They were very much the past. She didn't want to talk about it. She was the new Cam. And there were a lot of things that you were uncertain about with Cam. But when you start reading Yes, all those jigsaw puzzle pieces that are missing from her life are slowly slotting into place and giving you a better idea of her past and why she is how she is and everything like that. So they go back to the UK and having a great time sort of looking around. Michelle's learning about the UK and Cam's previous life. But wow, there are like bombshells all over the place. Like there are bits of Cam's past coming back with like a vengeance and just turning up unexpectedly and throwing obstacles at her, and she's got so much to deal with in this book as well. So there's a whole new story in there for a whole new chapter of her life and new experiences, but focusing on past and answering some of those questions that if you've read Out and Next you had like burning desire to really want to know more about Cam. So this book is so Cam. It's just about her and her life and filling in those blanks for you as a reader so you get a better knowledge of Cam. And I just love Cam. She's just great. She's great. She's fearless as a character. She's been through so much and nothing stops her. And even the obstacles this story throws at her, she's still facing her demons and doing what she's got to do and learning things that she perhaps wasn't aware she had to learn, if you know what I mean. She's still discovering things that she'd already sort of labelled, boxed and said that's what it is. She's finding out that everything's not quite as she thought it might be. So I mean, it's really exciting, like just to fill in those gaps that you always, when you start with a series and you get a series and there's so much still to learn, it's all well and good the characters continuing to go on journeys and adventures, but they have to learn, do you know what I mean? They have to grow as characters and whatever else. So it's not just focused on London, this book. There are other bits in the book where Michelle and Cam are back home and they're away from home, and there's some lovely little Easter eggs in here. If you've read Claire's other works, you'll know that there's little bits, little snippets thrown in. Other ways again for Cam to grow as a character following what happened in Next, and learning to take care of herself and love herself and give herself the freedom she needs to just be her and embrace what's happened and what may happen and what's going to happen. And her and Michelle are also, you know, they're exploring that whole building family thing. So it's not a prominent part of this story, but it's there, and it's like a build, like alluding to maybe more. Hopefully there will be more. Claire did actually tweet this week that she was starting work, hopefully, on what would be book 4 in Cam Thomas. And I love Cam Thomas like so much, like you can tell just how excited I am at the prospect that there may be more. I just love Cam so much. So that was also nice, like just to have it as like an underlying theme, like it's there, and it's definitely a possibility for the pair of them, but it's something they have to work at. So I love that, I really did, and it really sort of watching them work together as a couple as well, now that they're married and everything, their dynamics slightly different and changed, and that was also really interesting, because there was not so much of Michelle's acting in here, and there's more of them as a couple, like focusing on their life together things they're doing together. So I really like that about the book. It was a great book and I loved reading it. So what I'll do, I'll pop a link in the description so you can go and grab a copy of Yes by Claire Highton-Stevenson. You know you want to. If you haven't read the Cam Thomas series yet, you want to get started, you are missing out on an absolute gem. It's a fantastic series, and Yes was just a fantastic third edition to that series. If that's where it ends, that's where it ends. Hopefully there'll be more from the characters because I absolutely adore them. And if you've read it, please let me know what you thought of it. If you're going to read it, again, just let us know. Or if it's on your to read list, again, I'd be really interested to see how many people have got Cam Thomas on their to be read list and haven't read it yet, because you really are, like I say, missing a gem. It's a fantastic series, and Cam's a brilliant character, Michelle's a brilliant character. Together their dynamic just works and they make excellent stories. Claire makes brilliant stories. She didn't give me any heart attacks with this one, so that was a really great thing. And it was just a lovely, it just flowed nicely, filled in the gaps that I needed it to, and it gave me more of Cam, which absolute craving, and I loved, I adored so much. So it was a brilliant book, and if you do check it out, I really, 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 really hope you enjoy it as much as I do, and that you'll love Cam so much because she's amazing. Enjoy. Bye.